Where am I looking, by the way?
Just look sort of up me-ish.
Okay.
Yeah. Ish.
All right, did you want a sound check or a name and rank?
Yeah, just your name and title we'll start with.
Sure. Maurice Carless, Maurice, Carless, Superintendent, District Officer, Sunshine Coast District.
Beautiful. How are we going, guys?
Yep, you go.
Oh, good. Maurice, just talk us through what's basically happened last night.
Around 10 o'clock last night, officers from Coolum were called to an address in Coolum, and shortly after responding to that a disturbance call, an officer has discharged his weapon, and consequently a male person has since been pronounced deceased. Further investigations at a nearby residence have identified two other deceased persons, a male and a female, and as a consequence, our Ethical Standards Command and the Crime Misconduct Commission have commenced an investigation on behalf of the State Coroner, and that's supported by local resources and forensic resources, including investigative and other policing units. These incidents are tragic for all involved, and our thoughts go out to all the families involved in this matter.
Who made the call to police?
That investigation's ongoing. My understanding is there is a number of calls to police, but the investigation's in the early stages. It's being conducted by the Ethical Standards Command and the Crime Misconduct Commission, and that will be obviously a matter that will be examined in the fullness of time.
So obviously neighbours heard a disturbance or something like that?
It's as I mentioned, the call was made to the police. It's yet to be determined who called and the number of calls that were made, but they will be obviously examined by the coroner in the examination of this matter.
So you said there was a man and woman found deceased inside the home, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, and have they died under suspicious circumstances?
Well, obviously we're in the early stages of the investigation, and as I mentioned, the Ethical Standards Command and the Crime Misconduct Commission are assisting the State Coroner in the Coroner's inquiry into the matter. That would be a matter for the pathologist to determine the cause of death, and likewise, so that investigation is going to take some time, and as I said, we're in the early stages of that.
But are you treating it as suspicious?
Yes.
Yeah. As murders? A murder investigation?
Well, we're treating it as suspicious at this stage.
And did they have any injuries, those two people that were found deceased?
I'm not prepared to comment on that at this stage. The coroner is obviously the one who will determine what exactly has transpired, and consequently it's not appropriate for me to comment any further on the facts of the matter beyond what I've said.
Did those two people live at that residence?
That's yet to be determined.
Why did police feel the need to fire a shot at the other man involved?
That's a matter that the coroner will examine in the coronial inquiry, and as I mentioned, the Ethical Standards Command, the Crime Misconduct Commission are undertaking investigations on behalf of the State Coroner to determine exactly those matters. It's not appropriate for me at this stage to comment on that.
Are you able to tell us whether he was armed, the man?
Again, it's something that will be examined in the investigation, and that's yet to be determined.
Are you examining whether the man who was shot by police is responsible for the deaths of the other two people who were found?
Well, the investigation is examining all angles, and it's too early to tell yet or to determine exactly what's occurred. And as I mentioned, the Crime Misconduct Commission and the Ethical Standards Command are investigating on behalf of the State Coroner.
Is it thought that all three parties are known to each other, or is there any evidence of a break-in, a home invasion, or did they all live there? Are they related? That's,
again, a matter that is yet to be determined. You can probably appreciate we're in the early stages of the investigation, and identities and causes of death will be a matter for the coroner.
Should the public be worried, though? I mean, was this... should the public or that area, the neighbours, be worried?
Well, as I said, we're in the early stages of the investigation. It will be a thorough investigation. Forensics and our investigative staff are at the scene, as well as the coroner's representative, the Crime Misconduct Commission and the Ethical Standards Command.
How many shots were fired by police?
That's yet to be determined. It's a matter that will be examined by a ballistics expert.
You can't tell us where on the body the bullet wound was inflicted?
No.
Ages of the police involved, was it 2 male officers? Or?
The responding officers were 2 male officers, and that's all I'm prepared to say about that at this stage.
Okay, and what about the ages of victims?
Yeah, I don't have that, no.
Morris, neighbours said that the police had been called to that address in the early hours of yesterday morning. Is that the case?
That's unknown to me. That's something that the investigation would determine, I imagine.
Did police attempt to use tasers or capsicum spray or anything prior to shooting?
That's a matter that would be examined by the Crime Misconduct Commission and the Ethical Standards Command in conjunction with the State Coroner.
And it happened inside the home, all of these events?
No. Some of the incidents occurred outside a residence.
So 2 deceased people were found inside, but the other events happened outside?
Well, again, these are still in the early stages of the investigation. The crime scene has a significant area that's being covered and being closely examined, so it's too early to detail exactly where things occurred.
Okay. So, basically, to sum it up, we could say that police are treating the deaths of the man and the woman as suspicious, and then there was the other event in which police discharged their firearm.
Well, I guess what we're saying is that the police responded to a call for assistance. On responding, as I mentioned, the officers discharged a weapon. A man was fatally wounded as a result of that, and investigations identified 2 other people deceased in a nearby residence. All right.
Ashlyn, did you want to ask anything?
Yes, hi. Ashlyn Goodall from the Today Show. So the 2 people that died, were they dead when police arrived?
The state of the victims is unknown at this stage at the time of the arrival of police or indeed QAS.
Did they have gunshot wounds?
I couldn't hear that, sorry.
Did they have gunshot wounds?
Again, that's a matter that would be determined by the examiner, and the investigation is yet to determine those things.
Those 2 people inside the house, found inside the house?
The crime scene covers quite a large area, and it will be examined thoroughly. The exact location of particular pieces of evidence is yet to be fully explored.
But are we essentially saying it's all happened at one property, though?
Again, that's unknown. We're still in the early stages of the investigation, and forensic officers and scientific officers, ballistic specialists, as well as scientists are conducting their inquiries at this stage. So we're still in the early stages of the investigation.
Is it believed that the man who was shot by police
Threatened them? Threatened police, Ashlyn? Yeah, threatened police.
It's, as I mentioned, the investigation's still in the early stages. The exact unfolding of events will be a matter that's examined by the coroner and the Crime Misconduct Commission and the Ethical Standards Command are undertaking those inquiries on behalf of the State Coroner.
Anything else, Ashlyn?